Thank you for that question. And it is still uh, a tragedy that scars all of us, what happened in Sandy Hook, and should continue to inspire all of us to deal with the tremendous challenge of gun violence that we're confronting in this country. And I want to yield to all of my colleagues to speak on this issue. They've all been leaders in the effort to deal with gun safety legislation here in America. It is important to note that we just passed historic gun safety legislation for the first time in 30 years that will save lives and includes some meaningful provisions to address the gun violence epidemic that we have in America that hopefully we'll be able to build upon in the next Congress and moving forward. America has 4% of the world's population, but 40% or more of the world's guns. That means there are somewhere around 400 million guns circulating throughout America, many of which are weapons of mass destruction, not used to hunt deer, but used to hunt children and families and others, and to shred them beyond recognition. And that should encourage all of us to do more as we move forward in the next Congress. And I'm certainly hopeful that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle will see fit to lean in further on gun safety. Yeah.
This has been an issue that Democrats care so deeply about. And there are so many issues we talk about dividing our country. This actually is not one of them. This is an issue where it is not just Democratic families that fear for their children, whether that's in a place of worship or sending them to a school. It is about being in a movie theater. All of these places should be free of gun violence. And uh, what happened at Sandy Hook was unthinkable. And really, it was hard to even to fathom when that information was coming in. And what we have seen since at Parkland, at Uvalde, it is heartbreaking that when we had the first bipartisan coming out of the Senate bill before the House in June that could move us forward on some common sense solutions to reduce gun violence in this country, that we weren't able to garner a Republican vote in the House. And so this is an issue that Democrats are going to continue to push because it is one of great concern. We cannot build safer communities until we address the statistic that the chairman just gave. We have to do a better job. We owe the American people that. And we are going to be looking to the GOP to put the American people, the American family, our children first again, and not the special interests that are pushing them to extreme positions on this issue.
Whip Clark was one of the leaders on the House Democratic side when it was a sit-in to talk about these very issues with John Lewis and others. All of us remember where we were 10 years ago. I was waiting outside the White House to go into a holiday party, the same one that President Obama got emotional at. And as someone who has kids in that age, it was deeply emotional for all of us. We view it, all of us up here view it through the prism of our own kids. The lockdown drills they have to take now, how their upbringing in school is different than ours as a result of gun violence. It's affected all of us. all of us in very personal ways. My district, there was a shooting 11 months after I was sworn in here in 2015, a mass shooting in San Bernardino was coming off of the House floor, and a colleague said, "Have you seen what's on TV? You gotta go back, run back to your office." And that's what we experience. That's our experience. But as Catherine said, as Leader Jeffries said, we are focused on enacting good policy for the American public. And so we hope that our colleagues continue to reach out. We hope that the anniversary of Sandy Hook means something. We hope that they will continue to reach out and support good, reasonable gun violence safety legislation like we passed earlier this year. That was a meaningful step, the most meaningful step we've taken in 30 years, but it's not enough. We know that we can do more, and we hope to do that in the upcoming session.
I have 2 marksmanship awards from the United States military, so I'm not opposed to people having guns. I am opposed to people having guns who shouldn't have them. That's why I support universal background checks and why every Democrat in the House supports universal background checks. And it's extremely disappointing that we can't get that into law. I do hope that Republicans will work with Democrats on something as simple as universal background checks that's supported by over 85% of American people. And if we could just get that through, we're also going to save lives. I remember when Republicans controlled the House and Catherine Clark helped lead a sit-in. If she wants to do that again, I'll join her.
Ted Lieu making news at his first press conference.